did.
All right. Here we go. We are live for the fifth week edition of the Tracy Welch Coaches Show. This morning, unfortunately, Coach Welch not going to be with us, so you're going to get to top us off here. Another Tracy, though. I mean, Tracy Raines, Coach Welch, and family. I think they're off doing some college visits or something. But anyway, we're going to get down to it. Hey, Coach, 4-1. There's a lot to be said. Oh, this is my tagline this year: is the score doesn't tell the story. So let's go over that story a little bit.
There's no doubt. We came into that game trying to get a victory and came out of it with one. So that's always the positive. It doesn't matter how it looks in the end. You can always come back and make some corrections. But we were there to win that football game, and that's what we ended up doing.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. You know, last night the game looked a little bit different, and I hope you can go into it for us a little bit. You know, the offense last night, we looked like we struggled a little bit with some of those fourth downs, trying to really get going. But we saw that there was a lot of work being put on Brandon Forrest. I love to see that, developing that young sophomore. You know, anytime you get a chance, you know, a lot of people that were out there watching are saying, oh, well, it's Polytech, and Polytech ain't really good. But you know as well as I do, any team that is not very good, if you don't come in, dialed in, and focused up, they can get you on the back end.
Well, I can say this, first of all, about Polytech. You had a lot of questions there in that comment. But Polytech is a good football team, and they're going to win some ball games this year. They hired a new coach, I think, 2 years ago, probably about the time we came up here to Lake Worth, and he came from Burleson, and he's done a great job with those kids. Their numbers are a little bit low right now, but they've got some great talent on the field, and those guys are able to play. And they worked on, of course, they're 5A, so they haven't been able to play all year. They scrimmaged last week against Granbury, and so I would imagine that they've been looking at us for 5 weeks straight and had us pegged down pretty good and had some different defensive fronts. We are game planning and getting ready for them off of a scrimmage film that had no true numbers on the players. Didn't run any tight end sets at all against them. And so we were really guessing at what defensive fronts and stuff we were going to block when we had our tight end in there. And so we had to make some adjustments throughout the game. But overall, I thought our kids came out offensively the first quarter and played an excellent game with them throwing and mixing some different stuff there with it. And defensively, they played outstanding all night long.
Oh, yeah. You know, we made mention of it last night on the show that, you know, Justin in regular fashion won the toss. We deferred. So that defense on the sidelines, you could just see them just turned up, ready to go out there.
Yeah, they were ready.
Kicked the ball out of bounds, and Polly chooses to make us kick it again. And then it looks like you guys drew up to do the pooch kick.
That's
so then the offense ended up seeing the field first. And I think, you know, the defense was turned up, ready to go out there, but the offense went out there and said, hey, guys, we're going to go ahead and get us out front.
Yep.
Y'all go out there and do your work and have a good time.
That's exactly right. And of course, we got a turnover on special teams there. Started off, I think, on around the positive 40-yard line offensively, and had a great drive, took it in. And we've been working hard with the kids and talking about the kids, being prepared for that first drive, because we've struggled a little bit on our first series each game. But they did a great job, and we put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, you know, Cam Kimball comes in. His stats the last few games when it comes to the rushing side, when people look at the stats, you know, numbers don't always tell everything. And it seems like every time you guys call his number, he produces.
Cam is a very versatile player on offense. Of course, he's a starter on defense for us at linebacker, but we're able to move him from our A-back position to our fullback position to our B-back position to our single receiver position, and he can do just about anything for us, and he does a great job at all of it. And so he mixes in there, and he comes in, I think, at fullback. He gets the first touchdown of the night on one of our little inside counter plays there, and he does a great job of finding that end zone.
Oh, yeah. And last night, on the offense, you know, we mentioned Brandon Forrest getting a lot of work, putting it on his back a little bit to be able to try to run. And I haven't seen the stats yet, and I know I'll come out with those on the preview for next week. But, I mean, last night he had one heck of a game again.
He sure did. Brandon did a great job. I'm not sure exact stats. We'll get those finished up by noon today. But I think he had around 130 yards last night and a couple of touchdowns. One of them was receiving touchdown. One of them was rushing touchdown. But Brandon did a great job finding those holes in there. And they had some, if you noticed, they had some very, very fast defensive ends that were coming upfield on us, and we were able to to take advantage of that on some plays. Of course, they got us on some of them too. So.
Yeah, and we saw in the first half, it seemed like the offense, for the most part, kind of had the upper hand, for the most part, taking control. In the second half was a little bit different story. It seemed like they started packing the box and trying to bring the house almost every time to try to disrupt Caleb.
They did, and like you said, first of all, we got off to a great start. I think we scored 3 of our first four possessions, and then the defense tacked on another touchdown there before halftime. Second half, we had a couple turnovers, first of all, that we're not usually accustomed to. We had some untimely penalties that put us in some long situations. And the fronts that they were playing, they were bringing the heat with their defensive ends and a linebacker off the edge, but they were playing loose over the top. And so we weren't being able to take care of those long situations because of the pass rush that they were bringing, and then the safeties playing over the top, and it made it pretty tough on us. So we're going to have to make some adjustments in that area and get ready for district next week.
Oh, yeah. Last night, the one thing we saw, we talk about this week by week, all the weapons that we have, and last night it seemed like Nathan Roscoe was the weapon for Caleb. Caleb went to him majority of the time over the night, and last night I think maybe Nathan had 1 or 2 drops on the night, and that was pretty much it. And his target, Caleb targeted him a lot, and he was able to not only just catch the ball, but he did a pretty good job getting a few yards after every catch.
He did a great job last night, making the right route, running great routes, making the good catches, and breaking some tackles too, just like you said. Yeah. And you go in, there's no certain game plan as we're going to target this receiver this week and this receiver this week and this receiver. We come up to the line of scrimmage, and Caleb's got to make his reads, his pre-snap reads, and then, of course, he's got to make his reads throughout the play too. So Nathan happened to be the one on the number that was open last night, and we hit him and took advantage of it. So.
Yes, sir. And the advantage is what you took for sure. A lot of people, we look at it, we know Mark Fulkerson is leading the receiving corps in yards. And, when you look at numbers, again, I got to be repetitive here, but you look at his numbers, you really don't realize until you actually know what the numbers are. And every time he's on a tick of 11 to 12 yards a catch, no matter if you get 4 or 5 targets, that's 4 or 5 first downs.
That's exactly
no matter
right.
how you look at it. And so still, even no touchdowns for him this game, but still a tremendous job in helping move the ball down the field. Demarion Pulte had less targets this game, but it just goes to all in. When somebody scouts, like you said before, you guys gave good quality film to them. They were able to actually legitimately scout what we had. They have a chance to kind of try to clamp down on Mark, try to clamp down on Pulte because they had such big outbreak games, and they really couldn't stop Forrest, and it really kind of, I think, left Orozco open, did a great job. Now, moving on to that offensive line. The offensive line has done an outstanding job. I know we haven't got a chance to talk a lot about them in the season, but they've done a great job with protection.
They did a good job. We've got 2 sophomores up there, in Hector Garcia at right tackle and Matthew Welch at center. And those 2 guys are doing a good job. They're coming along, but they're sophomores still. Matthew's been playing outstanding here lately. And then our guards, we've got Ronnie Sears and we got Marco De La Cruz. Well, Marco didn't play football last year, so he's just now coming back, and he's doing an outstanding job. And then on the backside, we've got a senior in Isaiah Holguin. And so those guys are coming on. We're getting better and better each week. Tackle standpoint, last night we had some very, very fast defensive ends, and so they took advantage of that a couple times because our tackles are a little bit bigger. But we've got to make some corrections and get that taken care of because we know we got a great team coming up next week.
Oh, yeah, we do. And, hey, Coach, I appreciate that, giving us some word. We're going to talk to old McAnally here for a few minutes.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Appreciate it,
Thank
Joey.
you, Coach.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and up to bat here we have Vance McAnally.
Hey.
Wrong sport, but still a great day.
It is. It's
Hey.
a fantastic day for me right now.
It is. You got to be excited. I've been waiting 3 seasons to see this development, and here we are in the 3rd season you guys have been here. And, man, talking about a totally difference if you went back and looked on film just 3 seasons ago when you guys got here, 2 seasons ago when you guys got here, to now, totally different defense.
Well, the kids have bought in. The kids are playing hard. We as a coaching staff, the plan, the plan's working and it's coming together. We have some difference makers, and when they're all hitting and clicking, we're pretty good. It was coming into last night. We didn't really know what to expect out of Poly. Just not, like you said earlier, not much film. They had one scrimmage, and so I talked to some friends that were at that scrimmage on both sides from Granbury and Joshua, and they were very, very. They had a lot of good things to say about that quarterback, and he's just sophomore, number 8 last night, and you could see when he got going, when he got the corner, he was something else. But we did a good job of kind of keeping him in the net and keeping him bottled up, and got that donut on the scoreboard. That's the most. That's the best part of it. Should have had it last week too, but those things happen.
Really going into 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
You guys, it's amazing. I think the put up right now is 130-something, 140-something points that we've scored to 13 points, and that's a credit to both the offense and the defense. But the defense only allowing 13 points in the last 3 games. I don't care what teams you're going against. That's hard to do.
It is hard to do, and every team's got some explosive players, and one breakdown on defense, and you're giving up a touchdown. You hit the wrong gap. You slip. You fall. You don't make the tackle. You get it's a one blown play. I mean that's all it takes is you miss a tackle and it's a touchdown. So. We've done good, and the thing is that we're doing is we're running to the football like we hadn't done, and we're the running to the football. Well, if somebody does miss a tackle, you got somebody there, and so that's been a big thing for us, and so super proud of the kids. They're having fun. We scored last night on defense. That's you just can't beat that. I mean, we were causing turnovers. We're giving the ball to the offense. They're taking the ball and putting it in the end zone. We're giving them some short fields. I know they're liking that. It's just it's good all the way around.
Yes, sir, it is. Last night, I ain't got 11 fingers. Well, I only got 9 now. But, I can't even count who to give all the credit to. Last night we saw Exase Bakula. We saw Brian Neal. We saw Jacoby Jones. We saw Cam Kimball. These guys were not – it's not like you get in there and just disrupt. These guys, if they got their bear claws on you, if they didn't pull you down by themselves, they were holding you up and everybody's going to get a lick. And last night, like you had mentioned, the Army of Frogs moving to the ball every single time. There was a couple times we had them backed up and they were, 20 yards is second, 20, third, and 20 or whatever it was. And people look like, oh, don't give up that much yardage. You guys, that right there, playing that little prevent or whatever it was that was put in. And then one guy, that quarterback, let him turn his wheels on. You could see his wheels turn up. But it took one bullfrog to get in the arm's reach, held him up, and everybody just swarmed to the ball. It was a great job of them last night. Demarion Pulte being a receiver on the offensive side, he had a decent game. He dropped one ball and made a couple other catches, and a run or two there. But the thing is he shows that he's a multi-side player, and last night he stepped up for the defense. And I don't think anybody – the offense, whenever he got that interception, I don't think the offense turned and looked, took 2 steps, and was like, all right, he's in the end zone because it was that quick.
It was a good play. It was a good play on his part. We had pressure, and we had pressure on the quarterback, which always helps. That's the DB's best friend is pressure. And so we had good pressure on the quarterback. The quarterback, he made probably an errant throw, I would say. And Demarion did his job. He was, he was playing over the top, and he broke on the football, and boy, he timed it just perfect. And my goodness, it was great. It's always good when you're scoring on defense, but like I said a while ago, those turnovers last night were huge. Fumbles. Isaiah Hall had another pick. I think that's 7 on the season. in reality, that's 7 in 4 games because he didn't play a whole bunch in the first game against McGregor. He didn't play a whole lot at free safety. He was more of an offensive player, and he was kind of backing up on defense. He may have played maybe 10 to 12 snaps, but I mean, we played probably 75 snaps that game, so he wasn't playing much. But he's become our number one free safety, and boy, since he's been there, he's really done a fine job.
Yeah. Even though in that first McGregor game he didn't have very many plays, I believe he picked up his first interception that first game.
He did.
10 plays, interception.
Yeah.
I mean, now after last night's interception, he's definitely starting to approach almost that 2. Averaging a 2, he's at 1 and a fraction, but he's at about that 1.5 interceptions per game mark. So it's a great job. And as always, we talked about before, having guys over the top and having guys underneath the receivers and making those plays. Just an outstanding job last night. I'm not sure they completed anything further than a 3 or 4 yard little flat route or a little screen there. So big hats off to the entire defense. That was my game ball last night, was the defense.
Absolutely.
As they continue to perform and continue to keep going.
They were, we were rocking and rolling, and defense is a lot about momentum and effort, and our word last night was tenacity, and we were tenacious. Coach Welch had a fantastic word last night, and so we were tenacious and playing hard and really just flying to the football. And like you said, those DBs did a good job of taking away the deep stuff, making them throw the short. And, if you throw the short, you just got to rally up and make the tackle. And that's kind of been our philosophy, and we've been doing a good job of it.
So now the real test comes.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about we're going into season 2.
Absolutely.
Season 2 starts. Those of y'all that did not get the announcement last night, there will be no bye week next week for the Bullfrogs. They've elected to take the Hershey game with the agreements from Hershey to move that game to next week. So we will travel to Wichita Falls, Hershey, and everybody around here in North Texas, and I think maybe even around the state a little bit, has heard of Hershey before.
Oh, yeah.
Hershey's had a great ball club for many, many years. So I know you guys are going to be working on the scouting for that. I know normally you're planning for that as y'all do glimpse into seeing what's going on in the district. But y'all take it a game at a time. Now here's a rush one. You got Hershey. Hershey's been out. They're 4-1 on the season, just as we are, I believe. I think everybody in the district except Decatur is 4-1 on their season so far. So they know what winning feels like this season already, just like we do.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Hershey, very talented. They're well coached, athletic. That's the number one word I would use with them is athletic. My goodness, you can just you can turn on the film and watch, and you're like, whew, okay, they've got athletes all over the place. So, we got to do a good job of scouting them and being ready and knowing what they do, and then just going, and then you got to execute. That's the thing. A lot of times, you can have the best game plan in the world, but if you don't execute it, it's all for naught. So. We've been able to execute the last 3 weeks, and we've given up 13 points. And so we go out and execute against Hershey. Offense keeps playing as good as they are, and defense. I think we'll be okay. We got to get out and get after it. That's the number one thing. When you have this is going to be probably the most athletic team we've seen by far, and so we got to keep everything in front of us. Got to keep making good sure tackles. Turnovers. Keep causing turnovers. Man, there's nothing better than a good turnover for a defense. And giving the offense, get the ball back to them. With all the weapons we have, just keep feeding them the ball. And so, that Hershey's going to be, they're home. They were off this week. They actually are 3-1.
That's right.
They canceled their game this week to get an off week. So, not that it matters, but so just got to be ready.
All right. Well, Coach, hey, I appreciate you taking some time with me.
You bet. No problem.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You bet.
You guys get to clocking that film and getting out there and running them down. And
That's right. That's right.
We'll see you guys here soon.
All right. See you, Joey.
All righty. So, guys, you heard it right there from Vance McAnally and Tracy Rains. We're looking forward to the Hershey game coming up this week. So make sure you tune in live. We try our best to keep the feed up. The internet doesn't always want to be our friend, so we just have to take what we get. So, hey, for Chris White, Josh Wilcoxon, Coach Welch, I'm Joey Wilcoxon. Have a great day, guys.